Hi everyone, welcome back to the Caistrology channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Cailin, and today we're going to be looking at your October 2025 horoscope. You can watch your horoscope for your ascendant, sun, and moon sign. I do recommend that you watch all three if you've got the time, and this is a tropical Western astrology reading, just by the way. If you're wanting more regular astrological updates from me, then you can follow me on Instagram and or Facebook. It's the same handle, which is simply Caistrology. So a little bit of an update for you. I am going to be traveling for the whole month of October. So that means I'm not going to be available for private one-to-one astrological consultations. And just by the way, I'm a tarot reader as well. So I do offer tarot card readings. I'll be back in November if you're wanting to book in a private reading. So without further ado, let's get into your October horoscope. Hi Libra Sun, Moon and Risings, welcome to your October 2025 horoscope. And also, happy birthday to all you October born Libras. If that's you, let me know when your birthday is in the comment section below. So let's have a look at what's happening for you as we begin the month. First of all, Venus, which is your chart ruler, will be transiting Virgo, and that's for the first couple weeks of the month, which means that your chart ruler is in the 12th house. So this is offsetting the otherwise would be sparkly, bright, creative energy that Libra season would usually endow you with. In any case though, it is Libra season, and that means that if you're a Libra sun, there can be more opportunities for you professionally speaking or in business. If you are a Libra moon, then your personal one-to-one relationships are quite likely to be the focus for you. And if you're a Libra rising, well, like I said, we've got the good and the bad. Venus is in your 12th house, which means that vitality levels could be a bit lower for you than normal. But I really do think that that will pick up for you once Venus enters Libra, which is halfway through the month, which we'll get to later. As we enter the month, Mercury will continue to transit the sign of Libra, which means that it is in your first house. And so this can be a time where you're very busy in terms of communications, emails, content creation, or just work projects in general. And then on the 7th of October, Mercury is going to enter the sign of Scorpio. So it's going to leave your first house and enter your second house. So Mars is already here in your second house, and Mars will be in your second house for the whole month. There's a lot of second house activity for you. So pretty much from the first week of October onwards, there really will be this big focus for you on your finances, your resources, and also thinking really deeply about what your personal values are, which is represented by the second house. Also on the 7th of October, there's going to be a full moon in Aries, and that will be at 14 degrees in your 7th house. This particular full moon will actually be conjunct the fixed star Alpha, which is associated with freedom, liberation, as well as romance, love, and creativity. So full moons are all about a chapter coming to a close, the end of a cycle. And because this full moon is taking place in your 7th house, for some of you, it could be freedom or liberation from some kind of burdensome relationship or obligation, or maybe even breaking free of a contract. So that could be with work, with a client, or that could even be to do with a rental agreement, just as an example. For others of you, you could be parting ways with someone that you're in a one-to-one relationship with. So that could be a friend, a client, dissolving a business partnership, or in some instances going through a breakup. But I do want to just highlight once more that this is all about freedom and liberation. So I do see this as a positive thing for you, Libra. On a different note, this could just be an illuminating conversation, an important discussion, or perhaps you're just fulfilling some kind of obligation or contract. So maybe something's just naturally drawing to a close. In one way or another though, I really do suspect that for many of you Librans, you will finally be breaking free from the shackles of some kind of relationship or connection that has been quite out of balance, where there hasn't been equal give and take, which of course is a cardinal sin for Libras. So again, that is on the 7th of October, but that energy can be with you 1 to 2 weeks before the full moon and 1 to 2 weeks after. But of course, the peak will be, pretty much between the 6th and the 8th of October. On the 13th or 14th of October, depending where you live in the world, Venus, which is your chart ruler, is going to enter Libra. So it's going to be transiting your first house, which is amazing. And that will be until, let me just double check when it was, the 6th of November. Okay, so with Venus transiting your first house, you can feel more creatively inspired, more charming, more sociable, and there could just be more opportunities for you to socialize, to network, to collaborate, and so on and so forth. Within the first pretty much 48 hours of this transit beginning, Venus is going to oppose Neptune in Aries. Pluto is going to station direct in Aquarius, and Venus is going to form a kind of brief but still important grand air trine. So Venus in your first house will be trining Uranus in Gemini in your 9th house and trining Pluto in Aquarius in your 5th house. So this is going to do wonders for you creatively speaking, and also this portends good things in the way of romance, travel, your relationship with children in your life, whether that's your own children or nieces and nephews. And also this is indicative of having some kind of breakthrough when it comes to business ventures, collaborations, and maybe even an idea for a startup, okay? Or if you own your own business, then maybe this is going to be a time period where you're having a lot of exciting ideas that you are considering pursuing that can expand your business further. And with the influence of the 9th house, this is also really about your vision for your future, but it can also have something to do with publishing, import, export, travel, and so on and so forth. So, like I said, in that time, on the 14th of October, Pluto will station direct in Aquarius at 1 degree in your 5th house. It's not necessarily a big deal because, Pluto spends about 5.5 months retrograde and then the rest of the time direct, but you may just notice that around that time, there's some kind of light bulb moment that occurs for you. On the 20th of October, Mercury is going to form a conjunction with Mars in Scorpio, and this is going to be in your 2nd house. So this is the first of 5 conjunctions that Mercury and Mars will make between then and March 2026. But more to the point, it is the catalyst for this grand water trine, which is going to hold its place a lot longer than the grand air trine. Okay, so what does a grand water trine mean? It means that we have planets in all 3 water signs that are closely trining one another. So what we're going to have is Mercury and Mars in your 2nd house, Jupiter in Cancer in your 10th house, and Saturn in Pisces in your 6th house. And this will hold until, for pretty much through till almost the end of the month. Okay, so we've got several days of your 2nd, your 8th, and your 10th house all being in harmony with one another. So this can indicate that there's some kind of breakthrough when it comes to resources and your personal income. And on a different note, this can also indicate that there is a breakthrough with the daily work that you do, or even with health, given that Saturn is in the 6th house. And of course, with Jupiter in Cancer in your 10th house at the very top of your chart, this can represent some kind of public recognition that comes through, or maybe a significant insight or download for you personally about your path in life, your career, and basically big mover and shaker decisions that you are looking to make. And even if you already have your work out there, maybe there's articles that you've published, or you could have a presence online or be in a position of leadership and power, then in this latter part of the month, or let's say the last third of the month, there could be an opportunity for you to level up even further in terms of leadership opportunities, stepping up to the plate, getting promoted, or perhaps seeing some kind of increase in your personal income. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways that this can work out or play out for you, I should say. Another one would be letting go of fear, insecurity, shame, or maybe even just hesitation when it comes to really being seen and putting yourself out there. And also, because Cancer rules over family and property, just given the fact that it's at the top of your chart, there could be some kind of important development or movement on the property and living front, especially as Jupiter's going to oppose the bottom of your chart. Okay, so moving along, on the 21st of October, there's going to be a new moon in Libra in your first house, and this will be at 28 degrees. So this particular new moon is in a kind of tight T-square, actually. So we've got Chiron in Aries at 24 degrees in your 7th house, and then Jupiter in Cancer at 24 degrees in your 10th house. So new moons are all about a new chapter taking place, a new beginning, planting the new seeds for something. So this is a great time to set intentions as it relates to your path in life, your career, your public reputation, and big things that you want to achieve, the legacy that you want to leave behind. Now, of course, many of you Libras will probably be retired, or maybe you're not in the workforce for one reason or another. That's fine. The 10th house doesn't just rule over career. It's like positions of power and authority and being of the highest level of service that is possible. Okay, so that can be within your demographic, that can be within your community, your locale, or just some kind of like jurisdiction that you preside over. Okay, and this could also be to do with politics. I digress. This new moon in your first house indicates that there's a new chapter that is opening up for you. And for a lot of you Libras, this will relate to your family life and your property and living situation for two reasons. One is that the new moon's at 28 degrees, which is the Cancer degree, which relates to property, real estate, and family, and so on and so forth. And then the square to Jupiter in Cancer, which is like doubling down on that energy. With the opposition to Chiron, there may be some pushback to whatever it is that you're wanting to do, whether that's move out, start a family, move in with someone else, and whatever new beginning is happening around October or even November, you may feel like someone is going to judge you or criticize you or tell you to pursue a different path or pursue a different goal. So it's really up to you, Libra, to act in the face of potential censorship, discouragement, and basically just people telling you, why are you doing that? You should be doing something else, right? So I repeat, that's on the 21st of October. The next day, on the 22nd of October, Neptune is going to re-enter the sign of Pisces, which means it will be at 29 degrees for the next 3 months until late January of 2026. What's happening here is that Neptune is closing out a 14-year transit. That's right, 14 years. That's the old story or chapter that you are saying goodbye to. And also, this is closing out a 165-year cycle, astrologically speaking, but let's not get into that. So basically, the following day, Scorpio season is going to start. So what we're going to have between the 23rd of October and the 29th of October is 6 planets in water signs. So Neptune being at that critical degree in your 6th house could indicate that you are basically having to overcome certain health challenges or some kind of conflict in your life. That could be with work, that could be with closing out basically a chapter in terms of the company that you work for, or an ongoing work project, or discord with maybe like a coworker or a client. For others of you, this could be integrating new health habits or just daily habits and processes that are going to better serve you. Also, Neptune is related to addiction and disillusion and a whole bunch of other things. But for some of you Libras, this could be the time where you are saying goodbye to certain habits, vices, or potentially even addictions. And because of this grand water trine, which is going to be really strong around the 23rd through till the 29th of October, there's so much support here for you to be able to overcome these challenges, to win out in terms of battles that you're in with other people or even with yourself. Okay, so on the 29th of October, Mercury will leave Scorpio and enter Sagittarius in your 3rd house. So just be mindful of what's happening in terms of communications, your online presence, portfolio, content creation, plus your relationships with coworkers, clients, friends, and even siblings, and then also finances and resources. Why am I saying that? It's because we've got the Mercury retrograde pre-shadow period starting in sort of mid to late October. So in November, Mercury will be retrograde in Sagittarius, and then it'll go back into Scorpio. So Libra, thank you so much for watching this horoscope. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. Also, I'm on Instagram and Facebook if you're wanting to see more content from me in between these monthly horoscopes. Take care. Happy birthday once again. Enjoy Libra season, and I'll see you guys next time.